You will also be listening to authentic weather. In addition, you will be hearing weather from the National Weather Service. You're listening to Weather with Enthusiasm. Extract from podcasts on January 15th in regards to the midweek winter storm. This will be followed by the National Weather Service forecast on Wednesday, January 18th in regards to the winter storm. This will be followed by the actual snowfall accumulations that happened, which that part of the podcast was given Friday, January 20th. Moving right along here into the United States, we continue to deal with a situation where the polar vortex remains locked up towards the North Pole. However, nonetheless, a storm system will be producing significant amounts of snow here in the Midwest. The midweek this week, a Colorado low is going to be moving northeast, developing significant precipitation, frozen precipitation. Omaha, Nebraska is possibly one of the cities that could get hit. Right now, it looks like probably about 2 to 6 inches of snow, but here's the thing. You deal with a panhandle hook. This is not a panhandle hook right now. Panhandle hook in the Midwest typically produces 6 to 12 inches. Some of these Colorado lows also can produce that amount. In fact, recently we've been seeing some very magnificent snowfall, especially when they tend to hit the Dakotas, these slow-moving Colorado lows. Right now, there's question as to how much moisture is going to be available. Omaha, Nebraska National Weather Service tells us probably 1/4 of an inch or so. So when you're dealing with something like that, you would be looking at 2 to 4 inches. The only thing is, however, is that the European computer model at times shows a very significant snowfall possibly taking place, much higher than that. So we're not going to mention the totals right now. We'll keep it probably at 2 to 6 inches. That's what climatology would support. And ever since that extreme Arctic outbreak in the end of December happened, we've had a very difficult time. Actually, the Arctic air has not been able to make it down here. Nonetheless, we're dealing with the month of January. So in the month of January, it's cold enough. You get a strong storm system, it could suck down plenty of cold air for the midweek. Here's the thing about the midweek storm. It is a Colorado low. The Green Bay National Weather Service informs us of that. However, the Des Moines, Iowa National Weather Service expresses well that this is more complex than just the traditional Colorado low. In fact, it sounds very similar in a certain way to what happened back in the around December 18th or so, even before December 14th perhaps, all the way back then when we had a low pressure system. The main system, it started off as there was a main system, but then a secondary area of low pressure developed in the Midwest. You don't usually hear about that. Usually you hear about the secondary area of low pressure developing on the East Coast, but that's what's expected to happen with this system as well. And then the question becomes, what's going to go on with that system? The second area of low pressure, a secondary low pressure that develops to the southeast of the main low pressure. And once again, just like a month ago, this secondary area of low pressure is going to eventually become the primary area of low pressure with the storm. So a Colorado low to start. What you call it after that becomes difficult. It becomes difficult, and then to know exactly what's going to happen becomes difficult as well. A lot of this is dependent upon the amounts of Gulf moisture that are available that's not known at this time, and anything could happen at this point. As we watch the forecasts materialize, we are about to listen to a winter storm watch for Omaha from the National Weather Service for Monday. Following is a winter storm watch in effect from the Omaha, Nebraska National Weather Service. This was issued Central Standard Time, Monday, January 16th, 2023, 2:29 a.m. Winter storm watch in effect from Wednesday morning through late Wednesday night. Heavy snow possible. Total snow accumulations greater than 4 inches possible. This is for portions of southwest and west central Iowa, east central, northeast, and southeast Nebraska. This is from Wednesday morning through late Wednesday night. Plan on slippery road conditions. The hazardous conditions could impact travel, including the evening commute on Wednesday and the morning commute on Thursday. Area forecast discussion issued 11:33 a.m. Central Standard Time, Monday, January 16, 2023. The previous from 2:39 a.m. Key messages: a light wintry mix continues this morning in northeast Nebraska with sprinkles or light rain farther south. A potent winter storm will likely bring heavy snow to portions of eastern Nebraska and western Iowa on Wednesday into early Thursday. A winter storm watch is now in effect for a swath through the central portion of eastern Nebraska into west central Iowa from 6 a.m. Wednesday to 6 a.m. Thursday. Moving ahead to the Wednesday into Thursday morning time period, our attention turns next to the storm midweek this week. Models are finally coming into fairly good agreement on a general track of the low through central or northwest Missouri. This, though, continues a trend to shift the heavy snow axis slightly more north each run. Feeling more confident enough though, as the ensemble members are becoming more clustered with the track, which should keep significant shifts from occurring. We're still trying to nail down the location of the heaviest snow band, but we can more confidently say that there will be a wide swath of greater than 4 inches of snow, including much of the area along and just north of Interstate 80. One caveat: will need to watch the warm air advection closely, as it may lead to a changeover to freezing rain or sleet along the freezing line and all rain across southeast Nebraska. This could significantly cut into snow totals, leading to a steep gradient in amounts and the potential for icy conditions for some. Our national blend of models puts just south of Omaha and Lincoln. The national blend of models puts that just south of Omaha and Lincoln. But if this shifts any farther north, this could lead to a drop in forecast amounts for these locations. Another concern is the potential for a band of freezing rain right along or just north of the freezing line. This could happen Wednesday afternoon, which could lead to icy conditions. Models suggest this could occur, but lack in confidence in its location or duration at this time, and that led to keeping it out of the forecast for now. Temperatures will start to fall across southeast Nebraska Wednesday evening, leading to an eventual changeover to snow. Snowfall amounts will directly correlate to how early or late these areas change over to snow. Precipitation will start exiting southeast Nebraska after midnight and should be out of the area by 6 a.m. Thursday morning. This, of course, leans heavily on the current ensemble and model solutions, which suggest this timing. These systems do have a tendency to slow down as they approach, which could lead to a later start and end time. This could lead to a slight increase in snowfall amounts with the current track due to more time with precipitation after sunset. In general, the discussion is not made with too much confidence in regards to the snowfall amounts due to the potential for additional adjustments in the track and a fairly wide range in totals by different model solutions. What the National Weather Service does say is that the national blend of models shows a wide swath of greater than 60% chance of 4 inches or more of snow. Some areas greater than 70% chance. We'll hopefully get a better handle on exact amounts by tomorrow.
Wednesday, January 18th, 2023.
The following is the latest on the winter storm affecting portions of Nebraska. This hazardous weather outlook comes from the National Weather Service, issued 12 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time, Wednesday, January 18th, 2023. It's for portions of western and north central Nebraska. Heavy snow will continue to fall across central and western Nebraska today, then gradually taper off from the west tonight. Widespread accumulations of 10 to 20 inches are expected, especially east of Highway 83. with lesser amounts across northwest Nebraska. Travel will be difficult to impossible with snow-covered roads and very low visibility in snow and blowing snow. Thursday onward, lingering blowing snow is possible Thursday, mainly east of Highway 83. Temperatures struggling to rise above freezing will mean little snow melt through the weekend, but any snow that does melt will refreeze at night and create slick spots on roads and walkways. The following is a winter storm warning. In effect, this was from the National Weather Service, updated at 4:12 a.m. Central Standard Time, Wednesday, January 18th, 3:12 a.m. Mountain Standard Time, 2023. Winter storm warning remains in effect until midnight tonight, Central Standard Time, 11 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. Heavy snow, additional snow accumulations of 9 to 17 inches expected, winds gusting as high as 40 miles per hour. This is for portions of central, north central, the Panhandle, and the southwest and west central Nebraska. Again, that's in effect until midnight tonight. Travel could be very difficult to impossible. Areas of blowing snow could significantly reduce visibility. The hazardous conditions could impact the morning or evening commute. Northeast winds becoming northerly could gust up to 35 miles per hour and cause blowing and drifting snow. If you must travel, keep an extra flashlight, food, and water in your vehicle in case of an emergency, or call Nebraska. If you're in Nebraska, call 511 for the latest road information. The latest forecast discussion is synopsis, issued 4:06 a.m. North Platte, Nebraska, Central Standard Time, Wednesday, January 18th. Powerful winter storm will bring significant accumulating snowfall to the region on today and into this evening. 4:06 a.m. The main concern is this ongoing winter storm today, which will last into tonight. For the most part, the going forecast remains on track, with only minor changes being made this morning. One change was in regards to where the heaviest snowfall will occur. Recent high-resolution guidance indicates a slight eastward shift in the area of most the QPF and resulting snowfall. Based on current radar imagery, this seems like a valid shift and have made the adjustments to have the bullseye centered mainly over Custer County, Custer, instead of the previous Lincoln Western Custer counties. Here, up to 12 to 18 inches are possible by the end of the event tonight. Heading north and south from Custer County, snowfall will taper to near 10 inches in the south, such as places Frontier, Chase, and Hayes, and near 7 inches in northern Sheridan County. The winter storm warning will therefore remain in effect for the entire forecast area. Speaking of the latest radar trends, as previously mentioned, there's a slight convective element to these snow showers, leading to areas of heavier snowfall. Convective element doesn't mean there has to be lightning or thunder, but a lot of times it does go together with lightning and thunder, but not always. Higher snowfall rates up to 2 inches per hour and rapidly deteriorating visibility has been occurring. This band, which is currently over Lincoln County, will continue to push north throughout the morning. Behind the band, a brief lull in lighter snow is expected, although it is expected to fill in over the next several hours. Not only is the system expected to bring significant accumulating snow to the region, causing possible issues on the roadways, there will also be stronger winds associated with the event. North to northeast gusts up to 30 miles per hour are possible, and while it's not the strongest winds, there could be areas of drifting snow. The combination of falling snow and stronger winds will lead to increased reductions in visibility, making for dangerous travel conditions. Snowfall will continue to pivot through the area through the afternoon with another band of heavy snowfall, which is expected to develop. The snowfall ratio will be 15 to 1. That's going to be possible, which will be leading to a quick accumulation of snowfall across north central Nebraska. Light snow continues the remainder of the afternoon as the system slowly tracks to the northeast. Lingering precipitation slowly comes to an end Wednesday evening, pushing out from west to east with the surface high pressure and upper level troughing building in behind the departing low. While no additional precipitation is expected Thursday, blowing snow will still remain a possibility, leading to continuing impacts to area roadways. The aviation forecast issued 11:41 a.m. Wednesday, January 18th, 2023. Heavy snowfall will continue through the afternoon with 1 to 2 inches an hour for snowfall rates, which will greatly reduce visibility. Winds will pick up in the afternoon, especially across southwest Nebraska into north central Nebraska, with gusts up to 30 knots or more possible. This will create areas of blowing snow. Snow will begin to taper off later tonight, but it will linger across north central Nebraska through the very early morning hours before sunrise.
January 20th. The following are snow totals around Nebraska. This is given 2 days after the start of the storm. 2023. The following are snow totals from the National Weather Service in regards to the January 18th, 2023 to January 19th, 2023 snowfall accumulations of the Midwest, of Nebraska, especially Nebraska and Iowa. Before we get to Nebraska, we have 4 cities outside of that area which saw unbelievable snow. 1 mile southeast of Wolf Creek Pass, Colorado, 52 inches of snow reported 7:01 a.m., January 18th, 2023. 7 miles west of Crested Butte, Colorado, 48 inches of snow. Pinon, Arizona, Pinon, 40 inches of snow reported at midnight, January 18th, Central Standard Time. 4 miles north-northeast of Mount Baldy, California, 24 inches of snow that was reported at 8 o'clock p.m., January 18th. Now we head on to the Midwest, Nebraska, 6 miles west of Myrna, Nebraska, 23.7 inches, 9 o'clock p.m. 11 miles northeast of Callaway, Nebraska, 23 inches, 6:50 p.m., that's on the 18th. 8 miles north of Myrna, Nebraska, 23 inches. This information comes from the National Weather Service. 9 o'clock a.m., January 19th, a report of 22.5 inches was northeast of Myrna, Nebraska. 5 miles west of Myrna, Nebraska, 22 inches. That's 6 o'clock p.m. on the 18th. 9 miles northwest of Anselmo, Nebraska, 22 inches. Ansley, Nebraska, Ansley, 20 inches. That was taken at 3:54 p.m. January 19th. Thedford, Nebraska, 20 inches, 5:55 p.m. on the 19th. Broken Bow, Nebraska, 19 inches. That's at January 18th, 6:50 p.m. 8 miles west-southwest of Callaway, Nebraska, 19 inches. 5 miles west of Stapleton, Nebraska, 18 inches. 2 miles east, Gates, Nebraska, 18 inches. 11 miles southeast of Harrisburg, Nebraska, 18 inches. Litchfield, Nebraska, 17.5 inches. Callaway, Nebraska, 17.5 inches. Hazard, Nebraska, 17.3 inches. 2 miles west of Litchfield, Nebraska, 17 inches. The following cities all saw 17 inches, 1 mile north of Pleasanton, Nebraska, 5 miles west-southwest of Stapleton, Nebraska, and Lexington, Nebraska, 17 inches. Bulwell, Nebraska, 16 inches, 3 miles southeast of Ravenna, Nebraska, 16 inches. The following cities also saw 16 inches, 8 miles west-southwest of Callaway, Nebraska, and Chapel, Nebraska, 16 inches. The following cities saw 15.5 inches, Antsworth and Acanto, Nebraska. The following 3 cities saw 15 inches, 6 miles west of North Loop, 5 miles east of Stoner, Colorado. North Loop is in Nebraska, Stoner's in Colorado, 1 mile north-northwest of Monarch Pass, Colorado. Following cities are all in Nebraska. The following 3 cities are in Nebraska, and they all saw 14.5 inches, 5 miles east of ORD, Bertrand, Nebraska, and 14 miles west of Taylor, Nebraska. The following cities in New Mexico, they saw also 14.5 inches, 4 miles north of Battleship Rock, New Mexico. Ord, Nebraska, ORD, 14 inches. A lot of cities saw 14 inches. The following cities are all in Nebraska, and they all saw 14 inches. 1 mile northwest of Ravenna, Nebraska, 5 miles northwest of Wood River, Nebraska, Arnold, Nebraska, 6 miles north of Kosser, Nebraska, 12 miles east-southeast of Stocksville, Nebraska, Paxton, Nebraska, 16 miles southwest of Mullen, Nebraska, total of 8 reports of 14 inches. Following places saw very close to 14 inches. 3 miles east of North Platte, Nebraska, 13.9 inches. Sutherland, Nebraska, 13.7 inches. Wood River, Nebraska, and 3 miles north of Overton, Nebraska, and 5 miles north of Hartwell, Nebraska, and 3 miles southeast of Prosser, Nebraska, and 1 mile northeast of Arnold, Michigan, also 13.5 inches. Blue Hill, Nebraska, 13.4 inches. The following 10 cities or more saw 13 inches. 2 miles west of Arcadia, Nebraska, 8 miles southwest of Elwood, Nebraska, 7 miles southeast of Lexington, Nebraska, Overton, Nebraska, Loomis, Nebraska, Halsey, Nebraska, North Platte, Nebraska, Kennesaw, Nebraska, Juniata, Nebraska, and Nahama Junction, Michigan. All those cities saw 13 inches of snow from the 18th to the 19th snowstorm of 2023. 3 miles northwest of Manistooc, Michigan, 12.9 inches. 5 miles northeast of Negaunee, Michigan, 12.5 inches. 2 miles west of Pontka, Nebraska, 12.5 inches. 5 miles south of Manila Village, Colorado, 12.5 inches. 6 miles south of Steuben, Michigan, Steuben, 12.3 inches. 1 mile southeast of Sands, Michigan, 12.2 inches. 6 miles southeast of Forest Lake, Michigan, 12.2 inches. 3 miles west of Riverdale, Nebraska, 12 inches. The following 10 cities or so saw also 12 inches. Millboro, South Dakota, 18 miles southeast of Oak Creek, South Dakota, 1 mile east-northeast of Millboro, South Dakota, Springview, Nebraska, 12 miles northwest of Ainsworth, Nebraska, 2 miles southeast of Willow Island, Nebraska, 5 miles south of Hershey, Nebraska, Ogallala, Nebraska, Grant, Nebraska, 1 mile northwest of Sidney, Nebraska, 2 miles west of Juniata, Nebraska, 2 miles north of Pauline, Nebraska, Roseland, Nebraska, Ayer, Nebraska, Cordis, Michigan. All these cities saw 12 inches. Continuing with the 12 inches, it looks like we have more like 20 cities that saw 12 inches, 1 foot of snow. 9 miles west of Granite Island, Michigan, 3 miles northwest of Little Lake, Michigan, 5 miles southwest of Beaver City, Nebraska, 1 mile east of Cambridge, Nebraska, Vernon, Colorado, 2 miles southwest of Burns, Wyoming, 9 miles northeast of Ponderosa Park, Colorado, Elizabeth, Colorado, 6 miles east of Skyway, Colorado, 3 miles east of Lyman, Nebraska, 3 miles northwest of some place in Utah, 7 miles northeast of Salt Pit, Colorado, 9 miles east of Cuba, New Mexico, Arizona Snow Bowl Ski Resort, 12 inches, 9 miles west-southwest of Blue Water Lake Street in New Mexico, 12 inches, Soda Springs, California, 12 inches, 2 miles east of Lake Spalding, Colorado, 12 inches. 1 mile east of Bloomfield, Nebraska, 11.9 inches. 1 mile northwest of Garden Corners, Michigan, 11.8 inches. 7 miles east-northeast of Garden, Michigan, 11.8 inches. Bartley, Nebraska, 11.8. 1 mile west of North Platte, Nebraska, 11.7. 4 miles north of North Platte, Nebraska, 11.5. The following places also saw 11.5. 10 miles northeast of Oshkosh, Nebraska. 1 mile east of Holdridge, Nebraska. 1 mile southwest of Newberry, Michigan. 19 miles north of Parks, Nebraska, 11.5 inches. 9 miles southeast of Big Bay, Michigan, 11.3 inches. And 4 miles northwest of Little Lake, Michigan, also 11.3 inches. 1 mile northwest of Hastings, Nebraska, 11.2 inches. 1 mile southeast of Hazelhurst, Wisconsin, 11.2 inches. Looks like that's the highest reading for Wisconsin, is 11.2 inches in Hazelhurst, Wisconsin. 7 miles northwest of Rockwood, Colorado, 11.1 inches. Loop City, Nebraska, 11 inches. 7 miles west-northwest of Greeley, Nebraska, 11 inches. Wood River, Nebraska, 11 inches. 14 miles north of Stuart, Nebraska, 11 inches. 5 miles north of Burton, Nebraska, 11 inches. Wawala, South Dakota, 11 inches. That's the highest in South Dakota, 11 inches. 9 miles east-northeast of Wewela, South Dakota, Wewela. Kinross, Michigan, 11 inches. Brimley, Michigan, 11 inches. 2 miles east-southeast of Hulbert, Michigan, 11 inches. Fibry, Fibre, Michigan, 11 inches. 2 miles west-southwest of Washburn, Wisconsin, 11 inches. 2 miles north of Moquah, Wisconsin, Moquah, 11 inches. 2 miles west of Palmer, Nebraska, 11 inches. 2 miles east-northeast of Crofton, Nebraska, 11 inches. Arapahoe, Arapahoe, Nebraska, 11 inches. 1 mile south-southwest of McCook, Nebraska, 11 inches. McCook, Nebraska, 11 inches. 6 miles north of Ludlow, Kansas, 11 inches. 3 miles south-southeast of Aurora, Colorado, 11 inches. 4 miles south of Arapahoe Park, Colorado, 11 inches. Veteran, Wyoming, 11 inches. Looks like that's the highest in Wyoming. Was in Veteran, Wyoming, 11 inches. 7 miles southeast of Moab, Utah, 11 inches. 12 miles southeast of Coyote, New Mexico, 11 inches. 7 miles east of Chupadero, New Mexico, 11 inches. 1 mile northwest of Bright Angel Point, Arizona, 11 inches. 6 miles west of Los Alamos, New Mexico, 11 inches. Hastings National Weather Service Office, Nebraska, 10.8 inches. 3 miles southwest of Hanson, Nebraska, 10.6 inches. 3 miles southwest of Atkinson, Nebraska, 10.5 inches. The following places also 10.5 inches, about 5, 6, 7 places. 1 mile east of Holyoke, Colorado, Iliff, Colorado, Hastings, Nebraska, McFarland's, Michigan, Escanaba, Michigan, 3 miles southwest of Hubbard, Nebraska, Crofton, Nebraska, Pagosa Springs, Colorado. Following place saw 10.4 inches, 2 miles south of Newberry, Michigan. 10.3 inches for the following 5 places or so: 1 mile southwest of Gibbon, Nebraska, 9 miles northwest of Oshkosh, Nebraska, 7 miles south of Vertle, Nebraska, 3 miles east of Pennock Pass, Colorado, 6 miles west-northwest of Bordeaux, Wyoming. 10.2 inches was reported in 3 miles east-northeast of North Platte, Nebraska. Also in Nora Springs, Iowa, 10.2 inches. Is that the first Iowa? 10.2 inches. 3 miles northeast of Kearney, Nebraska, 10.1 inches. Munising, Michigan, 10.1 inches. 3 miles west of Burwell, Nebraska, 10 inches. We have a lot of cities that saw 10 inches. Probably about 20 cities. We're going to read them off right now. Grand Island Airport, Nebraska. Lodgepole, Nebraska. Hastings, Nebraska. 1 mile east of Hastings, Nebraska. 4 miles east of Scotia, Nebraska. 1 mile southeast of Hastings, Nebraska. Holdridge, Nebraska. Paradise, Michigan. 7 miles east of Sault Ste. Marie, Michigan. 4 miles northwest of Sands, Michigan. 1 mile southwest of Gladstone, Michigan. Segola, Michigan. Alexander, Iowa, 5 miles south of Mason City, Iowa, 4 miles southeast of Bloomfield, Nebraska. Crichton, Nebraska, 4 miles southwest of Arthur, Iowa. Yankton, South Dakota, 2 miles east-southeast of Yankton, South Dakota. Vermilion, South Dakota. Red Cloud, Nebraska, 1 mile southeast of Wilsonville, Nebraska. Again, these are all places that saw 10 inches. We're going to continue with the 10 inches. McCook, Nebraska, 10 inches, 10 miles south of Cope, Colorado. Hillsdale, Wyoming, Kiola, Colorado, Elizabeth, Colorado, Castle Rock, Colorado, Moab, Utah, Chamois, New Mexico, Rosiada, New Mexico, Soda Springs, California, Truckee, California, Messervey, Iowa, 9.8 inches, Webster City, Iowa, 9.8 inches, 4 miles west-southwest of Windsor, Colorado, 9.8 inches, 3 miles east-northeast of Ensenada, New Mexico, 9.8 inches, 1 mile south-southwest of Marquette, Michigan, Marquette, 9.7 inches, 1 mile west-southwest of Marquette, Michigan, 9.7 inches, Doze, Iowa, 9. You will now hear a 1-minute trailer.
Several additional feet of snow is expected by Monday morning.
What?
We have a powerhouse typhoon which has developed off in the Pacific Ocean. A big shockaroo to many of you. This is especially true in regards to what's going to be going on in Alaska. We have parts of the world that are so hot right now. Temperatures are expected to go into the low 130s. Hey, we have a special guest on our show. What is your name?
Kitabis.
A heat wave that's going to be headed to the Eilat area. We're going to have to wait before we get into the next excitement. We're going from one extreme to the next extreme. 27.1 barometric pressure. Feet of snow are falling in Japan.
Oh my gosh.
Weather. That's a time of celebration. Just Google weather with enthusiasm and they're all going to come up.